Welcome back, and once again, thank you for trusting me with your full spoiler movie reviews. That thing I do where I watch movies early, and then I tell you all about them. As always, I am unpaid and unsponsored. And spoilers, all the spoilers. If you don't want any spoilers, go ahead and scroll. Go ahead and scroll. I won't be offended. Scroll. Okay, here we go. Which I should probably tell you, there's not a whole lot to spoil. Actually, there isn't really anything to spoil. There's no central conflict. Not really. But we'll get into that. Before we get started, I would like to throw just a small tidbit out there. If you currently date men, or if you've ever dated men and you're watching this, there is a very small possibility that you're going to start thinking about that guy. You know, that guy. You know the one I'm talking about, the one you really shouldn't have been with, but he was a really good ass time, but he ruined you just a little bit. Yeah, you might have some flashbacks about that, but the important thing is, do not text him. Do not call him. Do not stalk his Instagram to find out what he's up to. You are better off. So no matter how you're feeling, don't do it. Now let's begin. So Jeff Nichols' The Bike Riders is based off of a book that was written by a guy who followed a motorcycle club around from 1965 to, I believe it was 1973. He was actually a photographer, and he took a bunch of pictures of them, and that was the original plan, but then he started voice recording everything and decided to make a book out of it. And you get to see the photos at the end of the film, and they're pretty badass. So with that in mind, it's a framed movie. It is the photographer interviewing one of the girlfriends, who is Austin Butler's girlfriend in the movie, with flashbacks to when he was interviewing other members of the motorcycle club. But yeah, it's mostly just different anecdotes. You find out that they got together when she walked into a bar with her buddy one night. Austin Butler sat outside of her house for 2 solid days until her boyfriend dumped her. And then he came inside and they got married 5 weeks later. And that the motorcycle club started out as just like a racing club because they had motorcycles and they wanted to race them around. And apparently they wanted to start an actual club. What the difference is, I don't actually know. They did go on long bike rides, and then they have a bar, and they play pool. They have some fun decorative vests, and that's what everything started as. You know, occasionally you would run into one problem with, like, a guy wanted to be the new head of the club, so he tried to fight the old head of the club. The old head of the club is a lot meaner than the guy who tried to take over, and that's Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy? Who looks spectacular in here, let me tell you. They're letting people in from other places. They're causing a small bit of grief, but nothing I would consider spectacular. But then as the club was getting older, they were letting younger guys in who, like, had no fucks to give. And they were causing all sorts of fucking chaos. Like, they beat an older member who was getting ready to turn in his colors. They were running drugs. They were killing people. And then there was, like, this 20-year-old boy who had, like, super bad iPhone face, let me tell you. He killed the head president, whatever you want to call it. And that's when all hell broke loose and they became exclusively like a gang with the drugs and the murder and all that. But that's pretty much it. I mean, there's like a bar fight scene where Austin Butler almost loses his foot, and then she's nearly attacked at a party. We don't know anything about their real, like, relationship dynamic. She keeps saying it was good, we were happy. But the only time we ever saw them were, like, at house parties, and then she was nearly attacked at this house party, but he had gone somewhere, any fucking where. And they fought when he nearly lost his foot and wanted to go ride again. But we don't know if anybody has, like, a job outside of the club. I have no idea if Austin Butler and his girlfriend, like, had children or who pays the bills. And really, I don't think you ever see them happy together until, like, the very, very, very last 30 seconds. I thought it was going to build up kind of like Wolf of Wall Street when I realized they were framing. I figured they were going to build up to this great big giant conundrum you couldn't get out of. But it was kind of more like Forrest Gump, but instead of getting to see everything, they just told you. Like, it has a really big telling you but not showing you problem. And that's all I really got. So, did I like it? I did like it, but on a very personal level. This is what I believe to be a very niche type of film. If you read the book, if you enjoy talkies, which are about 85% talking, then you might like it. Now, I will say I don't think it's worth $10.50 to see at the theater. I got lucky and saw it for $5. I also think it missed a prime opportunity to be released last week for Father's Day. But I also kind of want to throw one thing out there that I was thinking through this whole movie. Had it been made 30 years ago, like 1995, I fully believe in my heart of hearts that Austin Butler's role would have been Johnny Depp's Academy Award. Granted, he only has like 1 page of dialogue, and there's mostly grunts. But you figured lots of people won their Academy Awards in fucking 7 minutes or less. I just feel like this would have been made for Johnny Depp. So take that as you will. Overall, I think I'm going to give it like a 6.5 out of 10. It wasn't a bad movie, it just wasn't a great movie. On a technical aspect, I liked it, but on a writing aspect, I was not impressed. Yeah, I think 6.5 out of 10 is fair. Okay, bye. I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride. I'm wanted, dead or alive.